Welcome, beautiful souls. Take a breath and arrive here. Some paths don't make sense when we're walking them. They only reveal their meaning when we look back and see how every step prepared us for the work we were meant to do. Today's guest understands that deeply. I'm honored to welcome Matt Dillingham. Matt is a former Marine who served from 2006 to 2012. During his time in the Marine Corps, he earned a degree in family studies from the University of Maryland at College Park, a choice that quietly set the foundation for a lifelong journey of self development and understanding human behavior. Although Matt didn't follow a traditional path in that field, it opened the door to deeper inner work, spiritual awareness, and eventually a surprising but powerful focus credit. Matt is an award winning author and a co author of Born to Risk. And today he is the owner of Intuitive Advising, where he helps people understand not just how credit works, but how credit can be a tool to change their financial reality and relationship with money. Matt believes that everything is energy. Lasting change doesn't start on paper, it starts within. By shifting internal energy and allowing emotions to move through, life begins to reorganize around that inner change through personal and group credit coaching. Matt teaches people how to use credit intentionally, consciously, and as a bridge to greater freedom rather than fear. As you listen today, you may begin to see money differently. Feel your relationship with credit soften and recognize how inner work and practical tools can exist together. This is Beyond Transcendence with Andrew, and let's begin. Welcome to my show, Matt.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for having me on.
Honored to have you. Matt, when you look back on your time in the Marine Corps, what values or lessons still guide how you live and work today?
Good question. Always being flexible. We had saying in the Marine Corps that Semper Gumby from the Gumby TV show from like years ago, and that's very true because you we or you're taught in the military in general, but especially in the Marine Corps, that like you can have the best laid plans, and then everything goes to shit, and it changes differently. And what are you going to do about it? You just have to just roll with the punches. So that's something I've always carried with me since then, because that's what life is. It's like you're like, I'm gonna do this. Like I set out to go to college, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do family sciences. Have changed from when I graduated, and I'll do that. And I did mentor in the military, and I thought, okay, I could use the military as a good thing to update my resume or to add on to my resume, and then I could also, if I wanted to, go out of duty. And then it's like, nope, like a total left field change in terms of what I want to do down the line. That and taking care of each other, because it's a team effort. Everyone learns to share. You're taught that, so when people bring stuff, everyone's there to like help each other out, and the camaraderie you have with everybody is really something that's unique, unlike other, I guess, groups in the United States or in life in general. As far as that goes, and I would also say, just I don't want to say like being able to push yourself and like realize that like I've been trained at this level, so I can you know I can accept this level of challenge, or I'm used to it. And people are like, that's a lot. I know it's not, and so that's just what it is. Like I can keep doing more, all that. So it's good motivation. But like, yeah, I can do. I survived this stuff. I can push myself. It may not be the most comfortable experience, but it'll be something that'll benefit me in the long run, push me further.
Beautifully said. You studied family studies, even though you didn't follow that career path directly. How did that education shape your understanding of people, patterns, and behavior?
That was the reason why I got into that, because that's a very unique major to have. Then again, major nowadays for people, I'm like, I thought my unique mind looked super normal. What some people is studying. So what it is, it's the study of the family unit and how that impacts the individual, but also society at large. Keeping it real simple. And I got into that because it stems from my parents announced that they were getting divorced back when I was like, I think 11, 12, so like the 90s, like mid to late 90s. And that was like, oh, this is not a great experience. I don't want to experience this again. How do I avoid that? So that from that traumatic moment led me to, okay, so the families, because I learned a lot about marriage and laws around marriage, what happens. I learned a lot of good stuff. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. I can use this. And it was a good experience. And it really opened my eyes to how family is an important influence in your life. And unfortunately, a lot of people, their family isn't the best for whatever reason. And people are like, screw this, I hate you all, and all those things. And really, and then over time, as I gotten older, I realized that family is important. It's healthy. It's how we're designed. In that, when you mess with that, you mess with society at large or as a whole. Because then you have people where they feel, I don't know, they what it is they're very much for themselves, and it makes sense because, well, if your family was trash and all those things, what else are you going to do? You need to protect yourself. Same thing about themselves only, but it comes from a place of protection. They're trying to keep safe, so there's fear. So let me just be about myself because based on my past experience, when I came in this world, I was taught that, well, things suck, I suck, everything else got abused, whatever it is. So I'm keeping me in and not. And then they also say, why would I want to bring a child into this based on this blueprint I have? That is not true. So long answer.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with long answers. It's good to have info and understanding, right? So your journey into credit wasn't obvious or linear. What first drew you into this world and what made you realize it was a part of your purpose?
That's easy. Well, I tell people is one, you don't choose credit repair, it chooses you. Two, I got into it because at 27 years old, I was at the bankruptcy court to go to my court here to declare bankruptcy at 27. And I laugh because at that time, for whatever reason, believed that um, only people who were like 40 and older declared bankruptcy. Here I was at 27, proved myself dead wrong. Like, no, I haven't met anybody. So it happened to me. And through that, I got involved with credit repair from that standpoint because I was like, well, the other thing too is at the time, I said, I'm never doing this again. I don't want to do this again. And so I figured that because also at that point, I met a guy who was in credit repair, and I was like, well, let me learn about this. I'm going bankrupt. Like, let me just get into it and understand it, and that led me down this journey into credit. It was an on and off again relationship from 2013 to 2019. So I would get into it again whenever I was doing small business funding because business owners need help with their credit and things. But the problem is with them, their personal credit was trash and they had little or no business credit, so they were stuck getting these high rate MCAs. And my thing was, well, let's work on both. That way you can get the term ones you want, and I still get some out of it too as well. And then finally in 2018, when I met my then now business partner, to get that going and finally dive full force into it, where I learned a way more about credit, not just how it can be used, but how it works, the laws around everything, debt collection, all the things that people were not taught about it, at least here in the States, about credit. And more importantly, like, the laws that are there to protect you that people don't know about. And then some people have a hard time believing. You're like, wait a minute, what do you mean I can fight this? It's on my credit report. That doesn't matter. That you didn't make that marker on your file. Someone else did. And because of that, if they make a mistake, whether that be intentional or on purpose, that costs you housing, a job opportunity, a whole bunch of things. So that's why you can fight it because you're not the one who made the mark. It'll open me up to a whole new world that to this day, and the irony is that to this day, even when I talk to other financial coaches, they're still clueless on credit. It's like the missing piece that people have no idea. They have some surface level understanding, and when I break it down, they go, "Oh, I didn't know that." Yeah, like there's a lot based on my own experience and what I've stuck because I've done a lot of work with myself spiritually, energetically. I know everything energy. I've experienced it, and my own self have my own abilities to like do readings and help channel energy to help people relieve pain and heal in your finances, right? People don't understand this. There's people understand that you have to do things that are responsible and smart, and then you have your behaviors, your habits, right? You have to understand that you have to go beyond your behaviors and habits because those are tied to neural pathways in the brain that you've established. But it also comes down to your beliefs about yourself, your self-image, traumas that you've had that you've inherited and also have not dealt with from child in the past that are showing up in all areas of your life, finances, right? So the good question to ask is if you're having a hard time with money and money's not where you want it to be, it's simply a reflection of what you have going on the inside, right? The thing is you have to then go within, take a look in yourself and ask some questions. And here's a way to start bringing up some answers to like why, because a lot of people are like, I'm trying to make more money, I can't make more money, I understand. Question you ask, like, one question you need to ask yourself is this. You need to take a pen, a sheet of paper, a notebook. And this is gonna be, it's not gonna be comfortable, but you have to get really curious and let everything come up and ask yourself, how do I see myself? How do I feel about myself? How do I perceive myself? That's going to bring up a whole bunch of thoughts and emotional beliefs to how you see yourself in relation to the world. So to keep simple. If you think, like I used to think, that you're a loser, that you suck and you're a failure, and you're trying to make more money, do you really think when you have that beliefs and image of yourself, a failure who sucks is going to make a lot of money? Or not. It's not how it works. Life is not here to prove you wrong. Life is only here to show you what you believe and reflect that back to you. That's an example, right? Another thing you can ask is there's that, but also you can take it further. You want to keep going with this and say, look, all right. So another unique question to ask yourself is if you're trying again in the realm of money and finances, you can ask yourself, why might I not want to make more money? Say it again. Why might I not want to make more money? That is from a mentor of mine. And the thing is, consciously, you want to make more money in your conscious mind, but on subconscious level, or conscious level, you have reasons and beliefs as to why you don't want to make more money. And that comes from your childhood and other things. You keep asking the question out loud, again, with a sheet of paper and a pen, blue ink. And when you do this, when you ask the question out and all those questions, do not censor yourself, let whatever come up, because sometimes we have thoughts and beliefs that aren't ours, that you got from someone else that you don't know about, and you're going to write all that stuff that comes down. And I've done this exercise. You'll be like, wow, I didn't know I felt this way about money or myself and all these things. And to look at that and go, this is interesting, and really look at it from a place of curiosity and not judgment. And then another question you ask yourself is after you've done that, you could say, can I still love myself even though I have all these views? The answer would be yes, you still can. And that just starts to loose up the jar and let everything come up that you've not dealt with for so long. And also, you're gonna see all the programming and beliefs you've been carrying that have been operating in the background of your mind for up until however old you are watching this. And that allow you to see it. No wonder I'm having a hard time with money finance because I feel like I suck. You may have beliefs about, people have money are evil. You need to uncover all that stuff. At the end of the day, process the emotions are transmuted. You then transmuted, change it back into your own power. And then from there, you can then two things. One, start looking at finances as just numbers and information. That's all it is. You take the emotion out of it. Then also you can take the actions that are needed that you want to do and feel good about changing your finances instead of where a lot of people are, where you're like, I know I need to look at it. And they're like, I don't want to look at it. Don't want to look at it because you're afraid. Because when you're taking it like this, you thinking so big, nasty a monster you don't look at. When you look at it, you're like, oh, it's not a monster. It's just, again, information. It's about numbers and things that I'm giving it power. I'm the one defining this. It's me, not some outside force. And that's what I want people to take away from that to understand that that's how it's all related. If you aren't feeling really with who you are, because it all starts with you, you're not going to have what you want with money. You got to start changing yourself within, and then from without, it'll reflect. You should quote that. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Matt. Love it. So many people feel fear, shame, or avoidance around credit. What you just explained. What emotions do you see most often when people first come to work with you?
Sometimes people will joke and then they'll joke and say, "Man, this is probably the worst credit report you've seen." And I'm like, "It's not." I can tell you that they fear judgment. They also don't feel good about who they are because a lot of them are my age or older, maybe in the 30s the youngest, older, and they feel ashamed that here they are at bad credit at this age, and they're thinking they should be here financially, but they're here. And they don't. Some people don't. A lot of people will not say what they're feeling. Some people have, but I can tell because I've been there. I didn't want to talk about my credit. I felt ashamed by it, judged by it. Especially as a man, when you're trying to date and get a girlfriend and want to get married, you're like, what woman's gonna want to be with me in this kind of situation? And you kind of just go, yeah, as a man. Women, I don't know. They feel the same. Some of them do. I'm like, but men don't look at you like that. Trust me. Uh, so that's what it is, and it's just letting them know that, like, you're not you're not wrong for where you're at financially. You've done nothing. You're not. It's not. How do I say this? You're not wrong. You're not broke. You're not stupid. You're not less of a person or a man or a woman because of this. Because in today, you created it. And if you created it, you can change it. You didn't create it, well, then you're screwed because now you're depending on some other person, some outside force to do it for you. And that's why people understand, like, you can change this. You got here, you know? But that's not easy for people because a lot of people live in an age where it's like, oh, that's not your fault. You're a victim. It's okay. It's your trauma. It's the banks. It's the fees. It's no, 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 no. No. It is you. And when we deal with the emotions that come up about, oh, how can it be me? You realize you'll go, oh, okay, it is me. I can handle this. Now I can change it, turn your back to what you're not going to tolerate and say, I'm going for this. That's it, period. Let's do this. But also give tools resources for the things that will come up. It's going to cause you not feel so great. We need to deal with that so we can keep moving forward. This way you can not just have a credit you want, but have like the life you want with money and the life you want in general.
It's true. I mean, it's hard when we're taught to be the victim, right? We're taught that it's not our fault and that it's the bank's fault, it's the government's fault, it's
It's
anyone
this, it's
else's
that.
fault
It's
but
this
ourselves.
systemic thing. It's this thing that's like you're gonna have a crappy life if you believe that stuff. The victim drug, the victim mentality. It's like, hey, hey, drink this. It'll make you feel better. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Drink some more. Yeah, keep going. It's like, yeah, and then they're drunk with victimhood.
Yeah, it's wild. So you talk about changing life by changing your energy within. What does that actually look like in real life for someone dealing with financial stress?
Bro, there's so many different modalities. There's no one way to do it. Like it's different. So one way, there's okay. I'll give two ways. The first way I was taught was from my first coach. Is you become present with emotion. You do some diaphragmatic breathing, and you locate where it is in your body. So if you're feeling sadness, for me, a lot of times sadness I feel like in my head. So you put your hands on your stomach through the nose, breathe in through your nose, exhale through the mouth. You made the duration of the inhale and the exhale about the same. When you put your hand where you feel the emotion, in this case sadness, and ask yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, how intense is sadness? Is it 10, meaning very intense? Is it a 1, meaning not so much? Say it's a 5. You continue to breathe like I just described all the way until you get to 0. You know it gets 0 because you feel like you dissolved it or released it. Like you'll feel lighter because you transmuted it. So that's where your power lies. That's one way. Another way that I've been doing it as a way that's a little bit quicker. I've been doing the tapping or the Callahan technique, tap on the wrist, do all that stuff. But what I've been doing now at the same time is doing tapping with the breathing, and it's like even better. So I'll tap away on these things from points, boom, boom, and it's like, oh, this is great. When you do that, you're not just blowing out the emotion, but you're transmuting it, but also at the same time, you're rewiring your brain, the neurons and all that to make it so that you change that way. If something happens that used to annoy you, it won't, but also you also train yourself so that when something happens that you don't prefer, don't like, you won't get upset by it anymore. You go, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see how this works out for my benefit. And even if you do get upset, you go, okay, I know what to do now. Da da da, tap, breathing. Like, okay, great. And you're like, okay, I can handle it. It changes life somewhat. It changes life a lot because then you're not taking things as, oh, this is happening to me, it's happening for me. That's like two.
Absolutely.
There's a whole bunch of different ways, but those are like the simplest ones that you can do starting today for the rest of your life.
So, what's a common myth about credit that keeps people stuck longer than they need to be?
There's a bunch of common myths. One is that still to this day is people believe that if you check your own credit, that you lose points. You don't. Is when you authorize someone else to pull your own credit. That's a hard pull. Check your own credit is a soft pull. You don't lose any points. Number two, second one people think is not believing or not understanding that you can dispute anything on your credit report, even if you know that debt's yours. Like I can. Or what do you mean I can dispute it? That's the second one. And again, that goes back to the fact that and here in the states, the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives you the right to dispute anything on your credit report because you're not the one making that the record of that account or whatever's going on. The bureaus are, the creditors are, and the debt collectors are. And again, if they make a mistake or screw some up, you're paying for that you're paying for that mistake. That can cost you a lot. So therefore you can dispute it. Another myth and misunderstanding is the second one. When people think that if they pay on collection or a charge off or repossession, whatever, they think that paying it is going to help their credit score. It's not. You pay it, the debt goes away, but it's not going to have your credit score because it's a defaulted debt. And that stems from them not understanding how their credit score grows. It's just thinking that because what we're taught is pay off your debt's a good thing, and that's true. But in the world of credit, it's different. It's knowing what debts you should pay and then which ones you should not pay, and that'll help it actually help your score grow. And that screws people up when they get into debt settlement and they think it's debt consolidation. That's another myth. People think debt consolidation and debt settlement are the same thing. They are not. They are two different things. Debt consolidation will help your credit by helping you pay off your credit card and keep accounts open. Debt settlement will destroy your credit because what they tell them is don't pay anyone that you have because what happens is if you're paying a creditor that you can pay anymore and they got to pay, it lessens the leverage that they have to then sell the debt on your behalf with the creditor. That's why they want you to pay it. But the problem people think is we realize that like, oh, they think that if as they're paying this debts on the company, $200 a month, $300 a month, or $500 a month, they think that by paying the debts on the company, that the debts on the company is then reaching out to whoever they owe money to. They're not. They're waiting till this money gets grown until what you're paying into this escrow account builds up, and then they reach out. But what happens in the meantime is that until that happens, your creditors are marking you late every month 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. And then the debt get then the account like then at that point the account then gets charged off for some debt collector. Then they reach out to pay on it, but then the damage is done twice because then you have a charge off for a new collection. But then they pay it, and then the account gets updated being a paid collection, so a charge off. The issue of worse is then someone looks at your credit report and they think, so you've all these paid collections and paid charge offs, so you didn't pay anyone back until you default on the debt after all the time, number one. Or number two, they think that you were then paid these accounts after you defaulted because you were then sued by the original creditor or the debt collector to pay it. And people don't realize that. And so people don't understand how this works. This is why, for me, the first thing I want to instill upon people is to understand this moving forward. So you know how to play the game versus thinking you're paying this and you could be, saving yourself money.
And that's why you offer group coaching. What's the shifts that you notice when people realize they are not broken, they were just never taught?
A light bulb goes off in their mind. They go, "Oh, really?" There's a sense of relief that they feel as far as all that goes. We're like, "Oh, I mean, it doesn't have to be like this." I'm like, "No, it doesn't have to be like this. This can be changed." They just feel better about everything. It's just that's priceless to help someone out and realize, oh, you have power. Yeah, yeah. Like you don't have to live like this. There's reasons and just laws in place and happy for it.
I love it. So for someone listening right now, who feels overwhelmed by debt credit or even financial confusion, what is a grounded step you would encourage them to take next?
The first thing is take 5 to 10 minutes to yourself. Put your phone on airplane mode or do not disturb. and start doing some deep breathing. And you can do with some meditation music in the background and ground yourself. If you're in a warm enough climate, not where I'm at, snow, go outside and put your feet, bare feet on the ground that'll ground you to the earth, or even at the grounding pad, and just calm down your ground. And then as you do that, just process any emotions that are coming up. That's the first thing you want to do because you want to get those to transmute and get you to a point where you're feeling just a little better. Keep going the emotional chain of feeling good, and just you want to get to a point in that sense where you feel like you're okay, you're safe, and you know you can handle the situation. You may not know how, but you know you can, and you're like, okay, I'm good. I can handle this. And then once you get that, that's like the main goal. Then once you're there, continue to feel better. And then, I would say that, and then looking at like gathering all your finance and all stuff, see where you're at, define where you want to go and know what that looks like, and then look at where you're at, and then from there you'll be like, okay, universe, God, whatever, like help me get to where I want to be, and just focus on already being at where you want to be, like as if you already have it, while working on feeling better, and things will shift in your favor because you're like, I'm taking control of my life. I'm not at cause of my environment versus being at effect. That's like the important thing.
Love that. What a beautiful way to end the show. This has been such a wonderful interview, Matt. And where can people find you?
They can go to my website, intuitiveadvising.com. They can go there, and they can schedule a call, or they can schedule one at speakwithmatt.info. And it's a free 30-minute call. We'll talk, see where you're at, and take it from there.
Love it. Well, this has been a wonderful interview, my friend. Much love to you and continued success on your journey.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew.
Welcome. What a grounded and insightful conversation today. Matt reminded us today that money is not just numbers, it's emotion, energy, and belief. Who'd have thought? His journey shows us that discipline and spirituality don't compete, they com- complement each other, that inner work and practical action can exist side by side. Maybe today you felt some relief, realizing your financial struggles don't define your worth. Maybe you saw credit as a tool instead of a threat. Or maybe you recognize that changing your outer world begins with changing what's happening within. Matt's work invites us to approach money with awareness instead of fear, intention instead of avoidance, and responsibility instead of shame. So, as you step back into your life, take one slow breath and notice what feels possible now that didn't before. Until next time, remember you are the creator of your own story and your soul is the pen. Much love to you all.